Hi, welcome. My name is Melissa. In this video, what I'm going to be doing is making some very quick, easy, simple, and inexpensive pinch pots. It's in the wording itself, pinch pots. I'm going to be using my fingers to shape out a pot using terracotta color air dry modeling clay. Once I'm done creating my pots, I'm going to be leaving them out for 24 hours to air dry, and that will set them. This is much different than doing the process of using a kiln. It's all in the clay, 24 hours, air dry, and it's done. Like I said, it's quick, easy, and simple, and the clay is not expensive. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Pinch pot, terracotta, air dry modeling clay is what you're going to need. So the basic simple items you're going to need for your pinch pot making is your clay. This is, like I said, the terracotta, air hardening, so air dry clay in terracotta color. I have scissors. I also have parchment paper. Whatever the table, whatever you're using as you're grounding your solid board here, you're going to want to cover it with either a plastic cutting board, parchment paper, or a plastic bag. You're going to want to cover your table with something. And like I said, scissors in the clay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up this clay, this package of clay. Sometimes it's difficult to find the clay. What I did is I just looked on Amazon and I got this clay through Amazon, and it only took a couple of days for it to be delivered, and it did not cost a lot of money. So if you want to save yourself the time for not having to go search for this clay, you can always look on Amazon and you can order it to have it delivered straight to your home. So this is what the clay looks like when it's open. Like I said, it's terracotta color. If you want to have a knife, and as you can see, it's going to do a little bit of dyeing on your hands. If you want to wear some gloves with it, you're welcome to do that. It's moist, it's soft, it's moldable. If you want to take a knife to cut, or your scissors, just a piece of that clay, and you're going to cut it on the size of the pot you want. I'm just going to make a small, simple pot here. I'm using my scissors, and I'm just going to cut a piece of this modeling clay. I will put this aside. Once you open the package, if you don't use it all, you don't want it to dry out, because again, it's air dry. It takes 24 hours to dry it completely. What you're going to want to do is put it back in its package and put it in a baggie or saran wrap. I'm going to then take this modeling clay and I'm just going to shape it into a round ball. Just roll it in between your hands. If you want to roll it on your surface, you're welcome to do that. I'm rolling it in a round ball versus a square ball or anything, a square or anything like that. I'm just rolling it in a ball. It does dry pretty quickly when you got it on your hands. Okay, so I have it in a round ball here, as you can see. So I'm going to take my thumb and I'm just going to push into the center of this ball and make an indentation in the center of this ball. Just like that. And as in the word itself, pinch pot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the clay in between my thumb, where I made that little puncture hole. I'm taking the clay and placing it in between my fingers and my thumb, and I'm going to start just pinching the pot, the clay, to shape it. So this would be like pottery. But again, when you don't have a kiln or an access to that workspace where you would have a kiln and the clay that you have with the equipment to make that clay through the water, you got this air dry clay. Like I said, it's terracotta. So I'm gonna just take it, be creative, and I'm just going to push at the bottom to make a solid bottom, as you can see. And it's not too fancy for me, that's okay. You want to make sure though that you have the clay pretty even throughout in whatever shape you're making. If you find you want to start all over again and roll another ball, roll the ball up again, you can. The clay has been exposed to the air, so it's slowly drying. If you find your clay is drying too quickly, you may want to have a little bit of water with you at your surface or where you're making your pots. And just dip your fingers in there every once in a while. Now, this is the simple pinch pot. And that's it. What I would do is just leave it out to dry, have it accessible to the air for 24 hours, and it will just harden on its own. If you want to be creative, maybe you want to add some designs into it. You could take a knife or your scissors, or even a sculpting tool, because what you're doing here is you're sculpting. So you could do what you want if you want to be a bit creative. It's very simple, like I said. It doesn't take long to do this. I would actually suggest, as I'm trying it with my scissors, to use more of a sculpting tool or a toothpick or something like that, depending on the pattern you want to make if you're making any designs. It's up to you the way you want to shape it. Be creative. Okay, there's one. I'll do a second one. So I'll just put that to the side. Take my clay, open the package up again. Remember to package it back up and put it in a plastic bag or saran wrap, because whatever clay you're not using will actually dry out. Sorry for the movements on my table here. Bear with me. So I'm just going to take off another piece. There we go. Close up my package. Take the piece of clay that I cut off, the section I removed. Just again, playing with it in my hand, kind of giving it some movement, some life. And I'm going to roll it again in another ball. If you want to make them smaller, larger, that's completely up to you. That's your choice. Try to make it as evenly as possible. Like I said, I'm doing a round shape. Okay, so I'm placing it on my surface and take my thumb. So let me push hard on to flatten that up at the bottom there. As you can see, as I push down on it, I'm starting to flatten the surface at the bottom. And I'm going to take my thumb and I'm just going to push my thumb in there. There you go. I can leave it like this if I want to as well. That's a cute little pot. Actually, it almost looks like a donut. So if I want to, again, you just take your thumb, place the clay in between your thumb and your fingers, and just pinch that pot, pinch the clay into the shape you want to. The thickness is going to be based on how much pressure you put into your pot. You're just shaping it with your fingers and pinching. It's not very messy craft to do. And like I said, if you want to go one step further, add some patterns. Maybe you have some sculpting tools, toothpicks. You want to add some pattern or designs in there. Okay, so I'm just going to push down in the center of the pot there to give it its solid bottom. And I'm going to continue shaping it until I'm happy with the shape I have. And like I said, you leave it out for 24 hours. And you let it dry. And that's it. It's as simple as this. Remember to have something protecting your table, the surface you're using. The clay comes in white terracotta, so like I said, you can order it on Amazon right now. I'm not sure how many craft stores would be open. I did look at the Dollarama and they didn't have any air dry modeling clay. They had children's modeling clay. If you want your children to do this with you, they can. Just if you're using any sharp objects, make sure you're the one who's doing that. And just, you know, sit there with your kids and just be creative and have fun. The second one is a little bit better than the first one, but there we go. There's the bottom, the sides, and the front. Here's my first one. Quite different shape. One's bigger, one's smaller. And I'm going to leave these two pots out. And I'm just going to let them dry for 24 hours and that's it. So I hope you enjoy this craft. Thank you for joining me.